Good day once again. Mr. Tagoma Upa again, rounding off grade E. That is the modules that we covered. We covered from module 1 until module 13. You can follow up on the videos, you'll see that is only 11 modules there. The two modules that omitted are the practical ones, which is discipline, module 6, and self-defense and minimum force, module 7. All right. Since we did from module 1 to module 13, excluding the 6 and 7 that I'm talking about, as I promised you in my last installment that I'll be giving you the question paper and the answers as a guide to your examination when you write your examination. It doesn't matter you write it online or you're going to have to attend at a venue. Right. The grade E student material, it starts from module 1. Module 1, that is the introduction, where we were doing personal hygiene and general appearance. Then we went on to do module 2, which is called basic occupational safety. After that, we did module 3, basic public relations. Then we went further on to do module 4, which is called the role and function of security. Then module 5, bombs, explosive devices, and firearms. Module 6 we skipped, that is discipline. I told you I'm supposed to do a practical video where I must demonstrate the stances. Salute, attention, stand at ease, right turn, left turn, right wheel, left wheel. Those are what we call discipline. Those stances, the army and police, they know what I'm talking about, they also do it. Then module 7 is self-defense and minimum force, which is now where we train you, practical module, how to defend a knife attack, how to defend from a firearm attack at close range in an unarmed combat. I'm going to do those modules separately because they cover for grade E, D, C. So when I do it for those 3 grades. So after we're done with the theoretical ones, then I'll be doing practical videos of all that also. Right. Then let's leave module 6 and 7. Then we go straight to module 8, which is also theoretical, called observation. Then we did module 9, which is called cutting and patrolling. After that, we did module 10, correct use of a fire extinguisher. That is aimed at trying to teach the security officer about basic firefighting skills. Then we went on to do module 11, which is basic radio and telephone communications. After that, we did module 12, which is called basic legal aspects. I think it was 2 weeks back. Then last week, I did module 13, which is called industrial relations. All right. So that question paper is got 13 modules for grade E. Then the 2 modules, they are not written theoretically, they are done practically. So your performance, when you go to the parade square, it gives you the marks, which I'll simply insert on the part of module 6 and module 7. So we'll be assessing your performance practically. Then that's how we calculate which percentage to give you. So that's how it works. Right. Let me go now straight into the questioning. Under Module 1, if you remember, I taught you about the basic rules for personal hygiene. Was the module open saying the security officer must know how to keep fit and stay healthy due to the nature of his work. Therefore, the security officer must adhere to the basic rules of personal hygiene. Then I started giving you a whole list of the basic rules, which was number 1, personal cleanliness. 2, the head, which is your hair, which must be short and neat. 3, the hands. Wash your hands regularly using soap, water, and a towel. 4, the nails. Cut your nails short and neat. Take care of feet. Take care of socks. Smoking, spitting, exercise, fresh air. Wash your uniform, polish your boots, time your sleep. Those are the basic rules for personal hygiene. The question now comes saying, that is question paper 1, because we have got 3 question papers which vary in the approach of the question, but basically the content remains the same. So question 1 says, list and explain 10 basic rules for personal hygiene. They are looking for those now: personal cleanliness, the head, the hands, the nails, care of feet, and so on. So those are the answers that they are expecting for. Because if they say list and explain, it means you have to write the point and then explain what goes on there. For example, if you say the skin, which is your body, wash your body at least twice daily, right? The teeth, brush your teeth at least twice daily. That's list and explain. The other question paper just say list 5 basic rules. You don't have to explain, then you just list the hands, the nails, the head, the skin, personal cleanliness. There's no need to explain. All right. So basically, those are the 2 types of questions to expect. But question paper 1 is the one that is mainly used. The question says list and explain 10 basic rules for personal hygiene. That's the only question under that module. Fortunate enough, the other question paper can also bring a question, like I think it's question paper 3 or question paper 2, I'm not so sure now. But it comes with a second question which says, explain the need to wash your hands regularly, of which the answer simply means to remove germs which causes diseases, or to eliminate germs which causes diseases. That is the reason why we have to wash our hands regularly. If you remember, even the time of Corona, it was becoming a norm of washing hands because we're trying to ward off the germs that cause COVID-19. Right. So those are the only questions that we expect, but mostly it's only one question which says list 10 and explain basic rules for personal hygiene. That's it for module 1. Then we did module 2. Module 2 is called Basic Occupational Safety. It's the one whereby I was demonstrating using signs, symbolic safety signs, sign of a fire extinguisher, sign of an escape route, sign of a toilet. All those are symbolic safety signs which inform you of something without describing it or writing it down. If you go to a toilet, it shows you a male picture and a female picture. It's not written. Your mind automatically tells you what it means. Those are what we call symbolic safety signs. Right. So when we did those symbolic safety signs, if you remember, I mentioned the fact that the symbolic safety signs, they differ to such an extent that we've got 5 categories. And all those 5 categories, they differ because of what? The shape, the color, and the picture inside the sign. That is why question 1 on this module is focusing on the difference of the 5 categories of safety signs. It says list 3 parts of safety signs. The answer is simply because of the shape, the color, and the picture. Those are the 3 parts which makes it differ. Right, then we come to question 2. Question 2 now is asking about the 5 categories. Right. It says list 5 categories of symbolic safety signs, which is number 1, general information, 2, fire information, 3, warning information, 4, prohibitory information, 5, mandatory information. Those are the 5 categories. So if they say list 5 categories of symbolic safety signs, then you just list those. Right. And the third and final question under this module, it says list 2 dangers of smoking, non-smoking areas. The dangers are actually 3 because there's 3 things that can happen if you smoke at a garage or a service station or a petrol station where they're selling flammable liquids. If you smoke there, that's why they have a lot of no smoking signs. There's 3 things that can happen. That is an example of a non-smoking area. So the dangers of smoking in non-smoking area are, number 1, there can be fire. Because usually it's associated with flammable liquids. There can be fire on that petrol station. Number 2, there can be an explosion because the fuel is contained in tanks. So if there is a fire, one tank affects the other. Or there can be, number 3, container action of materials. For instance, beverages. It also can happen on the non-smoking area. So the question says list 2 dangers of smoking in non-smoking areas. It's simply number 1, fire, 2, explosion, 3 is container action. But if you use fire and explosions, it's fine for 2 marks. That is all about Module 2, which is basic occupational safety. Let's go straight to Module 3, which is basic public relations. If you remember, I explained public relations simply means your relationship with the general public, since you are working in the public domain. So there is a security officer you are expected to adhere to good impressions to promote your image as well as the image of the company that you are representing, which means the company that you are working for. Right. So we were given a set of 5 good impressions which you must stick to when you are doing your public relations in your line of duty. Then we were also given about 8 or 9 poor impressions, the things that you must not do or you must avoid while you are on your line of duty. Right, the good impressions are, number 1, dress smartly, which means you must be smartly dressed at all times. 2, you must have a professional attitude. 3, you must communicate effectively. 4, show consent to everybody. Do not discriminate. 5, demonstrate good manners. Those are what we call the 5 good impressions. The question says, list 5 good impressions, which is simply number 1, dress smartly. 2, professional attitude. 3, communicate effectively. 4, show consent. 5, demonstrate good manners, behavior. That is your question 1. Question 2 says, list 5 poor impressions. Right. We've got things like disinterest, rumor spreading. 3, crude speech. 4, incompetence. 5, poor communication. 6, abuse of authority. 7 incomplete uniform. I don't know the 8th one, but they only need 5. Those are the poor impressions, which they said you must avoid at all costs because they can cost you your job or they can cost your company the contract. If you do any of those, you can either lose your job or the company will lose the contract. Right, module 3 done and dusted. Let's go to module 4, the role and function of security. That's where we were discussing about the categories of security, the aims of security, vulnerable areas, as well as vital points. Right, we start from the beginning. Question 1 says, list 3 categories of security, which is number 1, security of information, number 2, security of material assets and equipment, number 3, security of personnel. Those are the 3 categories which the security function has been divided into. 1, security of information, 2, security of property, or you simply say property. But if you want, you can write security of material assets and equipment. Number 3, security of personnel. Those are the 3 answers they are looking for. Right. Question 2, they require you to furnish them with the information about the aims of security. So it simply says list 7 aims of security. Number 1, sabotage must not succeed. 2, terrorist action must not succeed. 3, propaganda action of the enemy must not succeed also. 4, classified information must not fall into the wrong hands. 5, prevent enemy action from breaking through the security system. 6, facilitate investigations through the police. 7, make all concerned security conscious. Those are the 7 aims of security that they expect you to give them the information. Number 3, it says list 2 vulnerable areas. If you remember vulnerable areas, I said there are those areas which are easy to access and which make detection difficult. We've got things like number 1, drainage pipes and manholes. 2, areas with poor illumination. 3, trees or buildings, etc. next to the fence. So they are looking for 2 there. They say list 2 vulnerable areas. Number 1, broken doors and windows. 2, areas with poor illumination. 3, drainage pipes and manholes. 4, trees or buildings, etc. next to the fence. So you just write 2 out of the 4. Right. Then the last question, question 4 says, list 5 vital points. Vital points, I told you, those are the main important points in a company. If it can be disturbed, the company can stop to function. So it's very vital for production to carry on. Right. Then we've got number 1, computer rooms. 2, water supply. 3, petrol supply. 4, gas supply. 5, safes and strong rooms. So there they are looking for those 5. They say list 5 vital points. 1, computer rooms. 2, water supply. 3, electricity supply. 4, petrol supply. 5, gas supply. 6, safes and strong rooms. Those are what we call the vital points. Module 4, done and dusted, the role and function. Go straight to module 5, which is called bombs, explosive devices, and firearms. All right. Question 1, it says list 2 types of firearms. No, 2 types of bombs. I'm sorry. The module is called bombs, explosive devices, and firearms. So question 1 says list 2 types of bombs, which is number 1, military bombs, 2, homemade bombs. You remember I said military bombs are those that are manufactured for armies throughout the world. They are legal. Then homemade bombs are those devices which are created or made by people inside the homes, like petrol bomb, things like crickets and stuff like that. So those are the two types of bombs that we have. Number one, military bombs, two, homemade bombs. So the question says, list two types of bombs. It is simply number one, military bombs, two, homemade bombs. All right. Then question two, it says, list 5 types of military bombs. Right. We've got limpet mines, we've got land mines, we've got anti-personnel mines, we've got demolition charges, we've got mortars. There's a lot, Black Widow, hand grenades, and so on. So you just have to list 5. List 5 types of military bombs. 1, limpet mine. 2, land mine. 3, anti-personnel mine. 4, demolition charges. 5, hand grenades. 6, Black Widow. So you just put 5 there. Right. After that, then we did the immediate action drills. Immediate action drill on discovering a bomb, which simply means the action that you take as soon as you see that there is a bomb, as well as immediate action drill after explosion. Right, so what happens here? The third question says list 5 immediate action drills on discovering a bomb, which is number 1, not panic or cause panic. 2, notify control. 3, mark location. 4, safeguard the area. 5, do not touch the bomb. Then question 2 says list 4 immediate action drills after explosion, which is number 1, not panic or cause panic. 2, notify control. 3, assist with evacuation. 4, activate emergency procedure. 5, help the injured. That is all about bombs, explosive devices, and firearms. It's module 5. Module 6 and 7, I told you it's practical. I'm going to shoot the videos separately for all the 3 grades, E, T, and C. And we go to module 8. For 6 and 7 is practical. Module 8, we did what we call observation. Right. Under module 3, first question says, list let me see. Is it list the reasons for observation? I'm getting lost because sometimes if you master things and when you do and you are not using a book, it also happens that you have a mix-up of information. But under observation, we did about the aims. Yeah, I got it. We did the aims of observation. So there were 3 aims. So the first question comes saying, list 3 aims of observation, which is number 1, to supply a true account which would enable a court to come to a logical conclusion. Number 2, to ensure that clues which will offer assistance in solving crime are not lost or overlooked. Number 3, to be capable to observe and describe minutely people, vehicles, objects, and scenes of crime. Right, those are the 3 aims of observation. That is question 1. Question 2, it says list the 5 senses used during observation, of which the 5 senses remain the same. The 5 senses we did at primary school. Sense of sight, sense of taste, sense of smelling, sense of hearing, and sense of feeling, touching. Those are the 5 senses that you can use during observation. Then question 3, we come to list 5 description patterns of people. When you are observing and you see a person, how do you describe that person? Number 1, it's race. Is that person white, black, colored, right? 2, age. 3, gender, sex of the person, male or female. 4, height. And then 5, here. Yes, here. So those are the 5 description patterns of people. Then we come to question 4. It says, list 5 description patterns of vehicles. If you see a car being used as a getaway car, how do you describe that car? All right. So we've got make, model, color, registration number, year of manufacture, peculiar features. Right. That's how you describe a car. Then question 5, it says, list 2 description patterns of objects. How do you describe an object? Size, shape, color, signs of wear and tear, signs of damage. So you just pick 2 out of that. Right. So that is all about observation. Then we did module 9, which is guarding and patrolling. Guarding and patrolling, it can have 3 or 4 questions, but usually it's 2 or 3. Question 1 says, list the aims of patrolling. List 2 aims of patrolling. Yeah, it comes saying like that. List 2 aims of patrolling, which is number 1, to prevent unauthorized entry, and if it occurred, to trace it. Number 2, to prevent irregularities, and if it occurred, to trace it. Those are the 2 aims of patrolling. Right. Number 2, we come to the risks. List 5 security risks. Theft, terrorist action, arson, trespassing, robbery. Those are the things that can happen. That's why we patrol, and it can happen even when we're on patrol. Right. Then question 3, it says, list 5 equipment of a guard. List 5 equipment of a guard. We've got things like handcuffs, pepper spray, baton stick, torch at night, firearm if issued. Those are the equipment of a guard, the things that security guards every day you see them having in their possession, doing their work. All right, I think those are the 3 questions they are undercutting in patrolling. All right, the other question paper has got another question which says, list security risks to check during patrol. We're talking now about doors left open, keys left indoors, windows left open, lights left on, things like which causes that, the people, they just act careless or they forget sometimes. Those are the things that you check on patrol. Right, but it's not more in most question papers. It was coming in one of the question papers because we're doing about 3. So I think one of them I saw a question like that. But basically, it's the 3 questions that I gave you that are in the normal question paper. Right, so that's all about guarding and patrolling. Then we come to module 10, correct use of a fire extinguisher. How do you operate the firefighting unit called a fire extinguisher? We've got now question 1, list 5 safety precautions before using a fire extinguisher. Then with things like number 1, ensure that assistance is available. 2, ensure that escape route is available. 3, follow instructions on the extinguisher label. 5, vacate area if fire becomes too big or begins to spread. Aim at the base of fire with a rapid side-to-side motion. I think they want only 5 and with about 10 points, if you can refer to the book, but they want only 5 there. Then question 2 says, list 5 immediate action rules on discovering a fire. Number 1, sound alarm. 2, report fire by radio or telephone. 3, try to extinguish the fire using the right type of extinguisher. 4, assist with the evacuation of personnel. 5, protect the area from a security viewpoint. Those are the things what you do when you discover a fire. It's only 2 questions under correct use of fire extinguisher, which is module 10. Then we came to module 11. Module 11 was about basic radio and telephone communications. We started with the radio, the principles of, no, we started with telephone, sorry. We started with telephone, the principles of telephone procedure. So the first question comes there, says, list 5 principles of telephone procedure. Number 1, discipline. 2, tact. 3, voice procedure. 4, transmission of message. 5, patience. To leave the rest, I think we had about 8 or 9 points there. Then we come to question 2, under radio. Right. Where they say, list the principles of radio procedure, which is number 1, B for brief, A for accurate, first S for security, second S for speed. Then we have got RSVP, which is R for rhythm, S for speed, V for voice, and 4 for pitch. Right. So we've got BES, which is B for brief, A for accurate, first S for security, second S for speed. Then we have got RSVP, R for rhythm, S for speed, V for voice, P for pitch. There are 8 points under the principles of radio procedure. Right, so that's what they are looking for. They can give you the alphabets, you must just fill up. B, A, S, S, you just write brief, accurate, security, speed, RSVP, rhythm, speed, voice, pitch. That's it. They can give you blank and give you the first alphabet. It doesn't matter how it comes, but that's what they are looking for under the principles of radio procedure. Then we go now to care and handling of radio. All right. The question says, list 5 things to check when booking out a radio. I said when you book out a radio, you check number 1, antenna, the area. 2, on and off switch. 3, volume. On and off switch and volume is one switch. Number 4, channel. 5, squelch. 6, battery. 7, radio number. 8, condition of radio. You just put 5 there. Question 3 says, list 5 do's or don'ts when using a radio. 1, do not use abusive language over the air. 2, do not play music in the background. 3, keep radio room secure. 4, use radio for official messages only. 5, protect it from the rain. That's it. Those are the do's and don'ts when using a radio. Right. Then we come now to the common words and phrases, where they give you the word over, out, Roger, Mayday, things like that. So they only ask those 5. Over, they write it down and then give a blank space. You must now fill in the meaning. Right. Over simply means message received, awaiting an answer. Over, message received, awaiting an answer. 2, out, conversation finished. We are done if I say out. Roger means message received and understood. SITREP, shortcut for situation report. SITREP, situation report. Mayday, emergency call. Those are the 5 they ask on the question paper. Explain the meaning of the following common words and phrases used in radio communication. Over, message received, waiting for an answer. Out, no answer expected. Roger, message received and understood. SITREP solution report, Mayday emergency call. That is all about module 11, which is basic radio and telephone communications. Then we come now to module 12, where we have 3 questions, or 4 in the other question papers, but basically it's 3. Question 1 says, define crime, or what is crime? Crime is an unlawful conduct punishable by the state. Right. Question 2, list 5 requirements for registration. Number 1, you must be 18 years of age. 2, you must not have a criminal record. 3, you must not have found guilty of misconduct. 4, you must not be of unsound mind. 5, directors of a security company must also be registered by the board. Right. Question 3 says, list 3 reasons for withdrawal. Number 1, if you gave false information upon registration. 2, if you are found guilty of a criminal offense. 3, if you are found guilty of misconduct. 4, if you become of unsound mind. Right. Then it can also, those are the basically three questions that they have. But other question paper may come also asking for powers of arrest. List 5 powers of arrest. Security officer may arrest any person, number 1, with or without a warrant. 2, any person who commits a crime in his presence. 3, any person who commits a crime and is escaping from lawful custody. 4, if engaged in an affray. 5, whom he is authorized to arrest in respect of any Schedule 1 offense. Those are the 5 powers of arrest. Then I think module 12 is done. Then we go to module 13, which is the last module we did last week. Right, it's only 2 questions there. Question 1, explain the grievance procedure. Explain the objective of the grievance procedure. It comes saying, or explain the objective of the grievance procedure, which is simply to bring back employees or an employee back to acceptable standard of performance and behavior, and not to punish or get rid of them. That is the objective of the grievance procedure. Question 2 says, list the objective of the disciplinary code. No, I think I got it wrong. We start with the disciplinary code. Question 1, list the objective of the disciplinary code. The objective of the disciplinary code is to bring back an employee or employees back to acceptable standard of performance or behavior, not to punish them or get rid of them. Right, that's question 1. Sorry, I made a mistake. Question 2, it says, explain the objective of the grievance procedure, which is to bring parties to resolve their grievances in the interest of productivity and stability. That is the objective of the grievance procedure. The objective of the grievance procedure is to bring both parties to resolve their grievances in the interest of productivity and stability. That's it. So that is your question paper for Grade E final examination. Wish you good luck, and I hope the information that I gave you is going to benefit you in order to pass your examination. May God bless you. Follow my channel and bring Grade D up next. Thank you very much. Enjoy your day.